is our relationship to God. And we learned that Emily Cady says God is not a stern judge, a person up in a beautiful region of the sky called heaven, and he's handing down decisions from on high. He's not a puppet master. He's not controlling our every movement. He's not Santa Claus. Oh, the Santa Claus God is big. That's right. God, give me this. God, give me that. And that's not who and what God is. That is not our understanding of all that is, the allness that is God. And so, through Lessons in Truth and through other writings within Unity, we've come to a greater understanding. But Lessons in Truth has a special place in my heart. And I think it has a special place in anybody who has really studied it in the Unity context, and that is, this classic work says, in a very, very simple and concise way, this understanding that God is the creative force, the creative energy that stands under everything that we see in the visible world, that is our very nature, and we are projections out from God. That we stand forth as a part of God. And if we are children of God, as Paul says, then we are also heirs. Heirs to all that God is and has. So, with all of this in mind, and again, this was just a brief recap of last week, my thing is always, well, what did Jesus actually say and teach and do? Because we all know about the religion about Jesus. What do people believe about Jesus? But my thing is, what was Jesus's religion? What did Jesus say? What did Jesus teach? What did Jesus do? Jesus is my man. And so, with that in mind, today we're going to focus on perhaps one of the best-known collections of teachings of Jesus. It's a collection of teachings called the Sermon on the Mount, and that's found in Matthew chapter 5, 6, and 7. We're not going to get to the whole thing today. We're going to focus, and I don't know how many of these we're going to be able to get through in the time allotted. We're going to focus primarily on the very beginning of that Sermon on the Mount, a section called the Beatitudes. Now, the Beatitudes, the Sermon on the Mount, by the way, it's a little like Jesus' inaugural address. At the beginning of the term, a president or a governor will get up in front of people and say, okay, I'm at the beginning of this great new adventure with you, and here's my agenda. Here's what we're going to set out, and this is what we're going to do together. And essentially, that's what Jesus is doing with his inaugural address, with his Sermon on the Mount. He has just gone through his time in the wilderness. He's checked himself out. He's made certain that he's set for his office, for the role that he's going to play in society as a prophet. And he's done his personal work, and now he's come back down the mountain, and he's starting his assignment. He's starting his life work, his ministry. And this is what he does. He gets up on top, and he gives this talk called the Sermon on the Mount. It's his inaugural address. And what we're going to do here is the Beatitudes, by the way, the Beatitudes are just simply a way, Beatitude is a fancy way of saying, blessed. You are blessed if you do this, or if you think that, or if you do things this way. Well, what does blessed mean? What does blessed mean? We can substitute the word happy. We've been in, on my Sunday morning Bible class, we've been in the Old Testament for a while. And we're right now, we kind of glossed over Leviticus and all of the 618 rules and regulations of living a good Jewish life 3,000 years ago. But The Beatitudes are, you can sort of compare them to the law, to the rules and regulations, except that it's got a different context. Because the law and its understanding is something that is imposed from outside of us. In other words, do this, don't do that, because some external being or entity or the government or somebody else is telling you to do something or not to do something. The Beatitudes have a different motivation. The motivation for the Beatitudes are your happiness. If you have this collection of wisdom, and if you apply them in your life, you will be happy. What an interesting concept. Happy. And so, you know, we have the famous ones, blessed are you if you do this. Blessed are you if you do that. Then you will be happy, as opposed to thou shalt not do this or thou shalt not do that. It's a different energy. So we're going to take a look here. It's just a different way of perceiving it. You know, it's even written into our Constitution, the pursuit of happiness. These Beatitudes, you know, I did a little bit of research this week, and Eric Butterworth, in Discover the Power Within Us, he calls them the Be-attitudes. This is a way of being, an attitude that we bring to life that will help us to be happy.